When you understand how the energetic body moves through this world, it is an absolute game changer. It's almost like grasping the concept of it. It's not even grasping the concept. Sometimes it's just acknowledging it, which we're totally going to do today in this session. We're just going to acknowledge it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to lay it out. I'm going to give you some analogies. I'm going to talk about the energetic body, all the different layers. And then as a result of it, we're going to leave this session more empowered, more feeling like we're in our own skin, feeling like we have more control over this path that's happening and unfolding right in front of us, and really being anchored into our spiritual path, which is what so many of us are wanting to do. So we're going to cover that today. I'm kind of excited about this episode. I'm glad you're listening. I feel like this episode's going to be one of those where it's just like you and me hanging out, and we're like sipping coffee or tea, and we're just like chilling, talking about deep topics and what the possibilities are. And we're going to leave this conversation rejuvenated, ready to take on the world. And side note, that's really needed right now. That's really needed right now. So there are a lot of challenges happening. The time of this particular recording of this podcast episode, we just tipped into February 2025 after one of the longest feeling Januaries I've experienced in a very long time. So we're still in the beginning of 2025. This is a very transitional year. It is very pivotal when it comes to spiritual development. And so there's a lot going on. And this is a great time to sit down and say, hey, how are we moving through this world energetically? And when we put our eyes on it, when we put our focus on it, it's going to empower us. So let's just get started. Let's get started. We'll just sit here and chat, you and me. Okay. We've heard people say that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. 100% accurate. Absolutely. But I want to take it a step further, and I want us to talk today about our energetic body, because it is so important to understand what is happening that we may not be seeing with our naked eye. When we understand the dynamics about what's happening with our three bodies, which I will cover, we can empower ourselves to make decisions that are for our spiritual path and for our highest good with more ease. Now, let's break it down into some structures. You know me, I'm going to talk about analogies probably. And then at the end, I would like to go over a meditation that I think will be very, very helpful, especially in these times. So when we come down here, like I said, we're a spirit having a human experience. Absolutely, 100%. But for a lot of us, that can invite us into thinking or relying on or leaning into our spirit being inside our human body, right? Because when we say we're a spirit having a human experience, it sounds like our spirit went into a human body to have a human experience. Truth is, the human body was formed within the spirit. And what I mean by that is that our energetic body expands outside of our physical body. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that are already very aware of this, but there's some power behind having this discussion and talking about this and really hearing these words, because it will change the way you move through this world. And I can tell you it changed the way that I move through this world. My life is very different today than it was before I woke up, before I, started following this spiritual path. And I'll see if I can share some examples of that as we go here. But I want to get back to the core teaching of this, which is, yes, we are a spirit having a human experience, but it's not that the spirit stepped into the human body and is just riding along shotgun inside the human body. It's quite the opposite. The human body is within the spirit. So I break it down to my students in the SAGE method, and in the SAGE circle, we talk about the three bodies a lot in the online community. And I've been teaching since how many years now? I don't know, since 2008. But I've been teaching people about the three bodies for a long time. And it's such a great concept that you can start to understand deeper and deeper and deeper understandings off of. So let's let's revisit it. You may have heard this one from me if you've followed me, but let's revisit it. We have 3 bodies. Everyone here has 3 bodies. We have the physical body, which, is my mouth yapping and my vocal cords twanging to get my sound to you. So we have the physical body, and we do have the spiritual body, which I like to call the energetic body. That is our spirit. And then we have something called the programming body. And the programming body is your human mind on linear time. It's your programming, it's what you were trained to do, it's your reactions, it's your tendencies, it's your identity here in this lifetime. So, knowing that we have these 3 bodies, I ask people to start with the energetic body, which is also known as your spirit. From here on out, I'm going to call it the energetic body because that's how I was taught it from my guides. We start with the energetic body, and within that is the physical body. And the physical body connected inside that energetic body is what produces the programming body. The programming body is the body that is, some would say, the mind. So it's body, mind, and spirit. Maybe you've heard it that way as well. The mind is what links us to linear time. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yay, Saturday. So it links us to that linear format. Today, I want to talk about 2 of the bodies. I want to talk about the physical body, and I want to talk about the energetic body. Once we grasp the concept that the physical body is within the energetic body, that the energetic body is like this super cool spacesuit. That's kind of how I talked about it in my book. But it's this super cool spacesuit that extends around, within, and through and outside of the physical body. Then we can start to acknowledge that as we move through this world, we experience things on an energetic level first. Now, this is one of those conversations that every 4 or 5 minutes, you're going to go, oh yeah, I know that. But we're linking all the, oh yeah, I know that's together and leaving you seriously empowered on how you move through this world. So we experience things energetically first. What I mean by that is, let's say, I don't wish this on anybody, but it's a great example. Let's say a stranger starts walking up to you and they're going to yell at you. You will feel that stranger's energy and anger before you ever hear the words with your physical body. So the physical 5 senses of the feeling, seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, not in an intuitive sense, but in a physical sense, what's going on around you. You will know there's a fire before you smell it. You will know that this person's going to yell at you before you hear it. All of these things happen to our energetic body, our spacesuit, before it sinks in deeper to our physical body. This is why it is so crucial to take care of your energetic body. Now, I know there are some teachers out there that say, well, everything's perfection and what comes in doesn't need to be, you don't need to protect yourself because you're not going to have happen to you what shouldn't happen to you, and all is all and everything's connected and all is good and everything's perfect. I get all that, right? I'm the kind of person that I want that extra step. I want that extra step to take care of my energetic body. And I think what a lot of those teachers or messengers that are saying, you don't have to protect yourself, you don't have to take care of your energetic body, I think the piece they're missing is the conscious intent, where your conscious mind is teaming up with your subconscious mind, where your physical body is teaming up with your energetic body, where your awareness is teaming up with the perfection that these teachers speak of. You're getting on board on 18 different levels, and that is a huge, huge empowerment piece. So I do tell people to protect your energetic body. I tell people to protect your heart, and your programming body, set those healthy boundaries. Protect your well-being. Don't jump off the cliff without a parachute, physically. So I tell people to go ahead and protect your energetic body, take care of it, acknowledge it, because it's in the acknowledgement of it, it's in the care of it that you are bringing to your conscious mind and to your day-to-day movement the awareness that you really are a spirit driving the vehicle. You're not a victim of your circumstances, although circumstances will hold you in a space for a while. You are a spirit that has come down here to have circumstances and experiences. And that perspective gives you a leg up and an ability to make changes on a level that you can't if you're just ignoring the whole spiritual process. So with that said, taking care of your energetic body can be really, really, really helpful and a big game changer. And if you've been following me at all, you know what I'm going to say. If you've been following me, you've actually been waiting for the last like 6 minutes for me to say the word GCP or the letters GCP, because GCP is a technique that I have been teaching for years. It is one of the most impactful things that you can do. It's free. It's simple and it's easy. You in order, ground yourself, ask Mother Earth to help ground you to the earth. You clear your energetic body. Imagine wind going through it, blowing away everything you don't need energetically, or water pouring through and rinsing out what you don't need. Even fire going through and burning out what you don't need to carry. And then P is for protection. You set a bubble around you with the intent that it is a filter and it does not allow in what is not for your highest good. It will not allow in anything that is for your highest good. Or wait, let me say that right. Let me say the speech that I say. I set the bubble and I say, please do not allow in what is not for my highest good and allow in what is for my highest good. It's a filtration system. It's protection, but it's a filtration system. And this 3 steps, grounding, clearing, protecting. If you want deeper teaching on it, find my free course. I've been giving that free course out for years as well. And it goes really deep into GCP and why it works so well. But when you do this, especially if you do it at least once a day, again, free, cheap, no tools, cheap, well, free, cheap is free is cheap, and free is free. No tools needed. 30 seconds, eventually it just takes you 30 seconds to do it. Every time you do something like this, you are putting attention on the care for your energetic body, which reminds the human in you, reminds your programming body, that mind of yours on linear time, that you are indeed a spirit having a spiritual experience. Please remember that what we keep in the forefront of our mind, what we are thinking about on the daily, is what we bring about. So we are either thinking that we're just stuck in the human grind, and this does happen. We can go in and out of it. We can get stuck in the human grind and we can think, oh, you know, this is what it is to be human, right? And the more we think that and the more we're cycled into that, the more we bring that about, because we are energetically always attracting what we're thinking about, always. So if in the morning you wake up and you say, okay, I'm going to ground, clear, protect. I'm going to take care of my energetic body. I'm going to wash away everything that's in there that I've picked up that I don't need. I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to worry about that. That's not mine to carry. I just need what's within my energetic space to be that which I want to be focused on today. Then guess what you're going to attract more of? That which you need to be focused on today. You are reminding yourself who you really are when you take care of your energetic body, because we can see the human. We can see the human form. We can interact with our friends. We can go out night on the town, have a great time, right? But at the end of the day, that's not what's putting the first step forward into the world. The human body is not all that it is, right? Our first step forward is energetic. So on that entire trip out with girls, having a good time, all that kind of stuff, your energetic body walked into the room first. Your energetic body received the energy of the people around you first, before your foot ever set place into that room or your ears ever heard what the other people said to you that night. When we do this, we are all of us. We are our fullest self, right? And I want to connect this now to what we're stepping into currently, because again, this recording is happening in the beginning of 2025, and holy transition, Batman. Like seriously, someone told me to buckle up like 6 weeks ago, and I buckled, and I'm glad I did. And every day I'm doing GCP, and I'm reminding myself that I'm a spiritual being here in this process. I am deciding by paying attention to my energetic body what I focus on, and what I focus on, I get more of. Have you ever been in a situation where you've been going through a struggle, because we all have them, right? This is part of being human. Have you ever gone through a struggle and you're in that struggle for 3 days in a row, and then you get a day off? Maybe the struggle was at work or something like that, or at school. And then you have a day where you don't have to go to work, you don't have to go to school, and you can kind of ignore that struggle and you can focus on something else. Did you notice how the struggle wasn't continuing to push on you on your day off? And it's not just because we had the day off. It's because we changed our focus. What you focus on, you bring about. What you focus on, you get more of. So you take the day off and you decide you're going to put together a jigsaw puzzle, and you're going to plan a little mini road trip that you're going to go on just to sort of get away and have blissful experiences. And all of a sudden a friend shows up and gives and says, "Hey, I bought this puzzle for you." And you're like, "Wow, I just manifested a jigsaw puzzle. That's really cool." Well, you didn't manifest it the last 3 days. Why? Because you were in the struggle. When we're in the struggle, it's hard to manifest what we want. When we take a step out of that struggle, it's easier for us to manifest what we want. Why? Because our energetic body is experiencing all of that first. Removing yourself from a situation temporarily, because sometimes it's not possible to completely remove ourselves from situations, but removing yourself from a situation temporarily, or compartmentalizing the struggle the best you can to say, when I'm in it, I'm in it. When I'm not in it, I'm going to focus on what I want. These are the steps that get you toward creating what you want in life. So here we are in the beginning of 2025, and there's a lot of struggles happening, a lot of them, and there's a lot of discomfort, and your energetic body is feeling that first. So the fastest way to navigate through this period in time as we adjust from the old into the new on our spiritual transition, which so many people are going through, is to pay attention to your energetic body and protect it. Take care of it. Clear it out and say, I will allow myself to be aware and plan and strategy and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not going to stay there, because that is exhausting for my energetic body. I'm going to carve out time to do things that are going to lift me up, that are going to raise my vibration, and that are going to help me to focus in and bring about what I actually want to bring about. There is never a moment in your life where you cannot start to attract. I was going to say overcome. We always eventually overcome whatever it is we're in. That's called linear time. But there's never a moment in your life that you ever are stopped from bringing towards you the things that you need to move in the direction you want to move into. No one's stopping you from that. No one has control over your energetic body but you. So while the physical body's walking through this world, and there are things that are happening that we absolutely have to experience being human, guess what's not walking through this world first? The human in you. The spirit in you is walking through this world first. So the spirit determines how the path is going to unfold. And when you focus on the spiritual body, that is what gives you the ability to bring in what you want to bring in first and foremost, while you're maneuvering through what the human body has to maneuver through. So that was a lot, but I wanted to express the energetic body in a number of ways. I'm going to give you an example. And this is kind of an odd one. And this is from back in the day. So this is not an example that like lines up with what's currently happening. But back in the day, my mom used to visit. Now, my mom is one that you would want to set a boundary with, and one that I did. But back in the day, she was long distance, and she would fly into town every 6 weeks and visit. And my kids were little, and she would stay at my house. And it was a week that was just bad. There was nothing really great about it. And it left everyone very emotionally drained. It took us 2 or 3 days to kind of come back around to get to that happy family vibe. And this didn't happen too many times, but at the same time, I started doing GCP, not only with myself, just like I told you before, ground clear protect, but I started doing GCP around my house. Now, I wasn't doing it around my house for any specific reason. I was just like, handy dandy Scooby Doo, let's go. If I can GCP myself, I'm going to put a GCP bulb around my house. That could do nothing but be good, right? I'm going to anchor the house. I'm going to ground it to Mother Earth. I'm going to wash away all negative energies in the house so everybody is happier and having a better experience in their own whatever they're doing in their lives. I'm going to put a bubble around the house, and I'm going to set the bubble around the house with the intention that only the highest good comes into this house. Things that are not of the highest good are not allowed in this house. And guess what? The next phone call I got from my mom was, hey, I'm going to come visit in a couple weeks, but is it okay if I stay in a hotel and not your house? And I was like, you know what, Mom? That is perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine. Please do. And I got to say, the visits were much better. They were much better, much, much better. Some people just shouldn't cohabitate in the same area, and it can be very draining. So I set energetic boundaries around my house. I paid attention to the energy of my house. And as a result, moods were lifted, things started moving forward, things started to fall in place for the house that we were really struggling through. And all of a sudden, everything started to work out again. And the stuff that was coming into the house on a regular basis that was not for the highest good and that was really heavy and low vibration stopped coming into the house. This is an analogy for your body. This is an analogy for your being. This is an analogy for your soul. Your energetic body is your house. That is your front door. That's your side door. That's your garage door. It's your back door. It's your it's insert a whole bunch of jokes. But there's truth to caring for your energetic body because your physical body is within your energetic body, just like you are within your home. It works great. Things really shift a lot when you start to recognize, and I brought up briefly in the beginning, like how my life is today versus how it was years ago. And I'll share a little bit of that with you. For me, I didn't know what I didn't know. And that's one thing. If you are starting on your spiritual path, give yourself a huge break, huge, big old break. Release perfection, release judgment on yourself, and just know that you are in a step-by-step, everyday learning process that is joyful, that is uplifting, and every day is going to be a little bit better than the last one because you are focusing on your spirit and your energetic body. Trust me on this one. In time, what I found on my spiritual path is that I would look back on 5 years earlier or 2 years earlier, and I would stun myself at how much growth. Wow. Like I used to react this way, or I used to engage this way, or, oh, here's a good one. I used to get into these types of relationships, right? Oh yeah. Yeah. And for all you in my generation, I'm the poster child of that one, right? I am a recovering people pleaser, recovered. I would like to say recovered. Nope, recovering. I'm a recovering people pleaser. I no longer allow myself to just codependent myself right on into a toxic relationship. All of these things happened as a result of stepping onto my spiritual path, putting my energetic body first. Why? Because why was I able to overcome those things? Because when you recognize that your energetic body is moving through this world and experiencing everything before your physical body does, then you start to take care of that energetic body and you start to see, feel, hear, intuitively know things on a level you didn't before. Because when you function fully just in that human space and you're not allowing that spiritual connection to come in, you will feel, you'll receive stuff through your programming, through that mind, through the training. Somebody will say something and the old programming from your mom will be like, they're mad at you, they hate you, you're a bad person. Like all the old programming is what happens in the programming body and in the physical body. But you know where that doesn't happen? The energetic body. So when you're functioning from the energetic body first, and a situation comes up, you see it with clarity. You finally see what's really happening. I found myself no longer gaslighting myself, no longer reacting in the pattern of the programming that I was given as a kid. I started to realize that if someone's mad, it might not be because I'm a bad person. And then I went, wait a minute, I don't think I'm a bad person. Then I went, holy crap, I'm not a bad person. And then I was like, oh, this is awesome. And I've always known my entire life that I'm a good soul, I have a good heart. But all that programming, and I was so stuck in that human mind that all of that programming is how I reacted, how I experienced, and how I chose the next steps and the next people and the next situations and how I reacted. When I started to function from my energetic body, I started to see things with more clarity, see the intent behind people's behavior, see and feel and energetically know when something was not okay. Not okay. I remember I went through a whole phase of not okay, not okay. Seems okay because I was trained to think it's okay, but the human in me was trained to think it's okay. My energetic body feels that this is not okay. And I started to get back to my actual natural state, my actual natural state of being where I knew what was right and I knew what was wrong and I knew who I really was. Because that human body and that human mind can numb us, especially when it's very highly programmed. So before I opened up, I was an extreme people pleaser. I put myself completely to the side. I jumped through every emotional hoop. I was walking on eggshells. I was doing a lot of that. And the more I started to recognize my energetic body, the more I started to realize that what I was energetically feeling was not matching what was happening, was not matching what my programming mind was saying. And that disconnect is an invitation to identify that which does not align with you and that which is not for your highest good and that which is not on your spiritual path. And it gives you the opportunity to be able to start making changes, some gradual, but it gives you the opportunity to start making changes in your life that resonate with you and that are for your highest good. Fast forward to today, I am the happiest I have ever been in my entire life, even going through struggles, even going through stress today. I wake up every morning loving my life. Did I before? No. Do I see that clearly, the difference between today and back then? Yes. Do I have moments where I look back and go, I wish I didn't go through that? Yes, I do. But then I come back to this current day and say, no, I do wish that I went through that. I wouldn't want to go through it again. No. No. We'll keep that paperwork signed and done and in the past. But I do have a compassion for myself and for what I did walk through, and I'm grateful for it today because I enjoy my life that much more as a result of it. And the people that are in my life today are not toxic. They're not trying to manipulate. They're not mean. They're not, narcissistic and cruel. The people that are in my life today are my cheerleaders. I am their cheerleaders. We laugh, we have fun. I'm able to manifest the things that I want. I can feel stuff coming and I can address it in the way that is the most authentic and in line with my path and with the people that I love. So that's the gift of getting into the habit of recognizing that energetic body is what moves you through this world. So I hope today we have talked about this in at least a couple different ways and in a depth and a pattern that you can walk away from this saying, you know what? The real me is moving through this world before the human me even knows it. And stepping into the awareness of the real you, the authentic you, that spiritual body, that energetic body, taking care of it every single day, you're not going to settle for what doesn't align with you. And you're going to see clearly the small changes that you want to make. And I'm going to end on a really high note here. You're also going to see clearly the stuff that you absolutely want to do, experience, have, love, all of that with so much clarity that you're going to go running toward it, and it's going to come running towards you magnetically. That's the power of it. So do GCP a couple times a day. At the very least, just continually find a way. Maybe it's a sticky note on your bathroom mirror to remind yourself that you are a spiritual being, and within you is the human having the experience as well, but that your first step forward in this world is your energetic body, is your spirit. And self-care focused on your energetic body, that's its non-weight in gold. I love you. I'll see you next time.